I'm not really sure.
I like all your graphs on your back wall.
Oh, right. They're a little dated, but they still work.
I see all of them are up and to the right.
That's right. That's what we're looking for. That's the
You
main
didn't print
thing.
it. You didn't print any down to the right.
All right.
Okay, so I think people saw the new link. It must be something about somehow setting up as a webinar, because when you all would click on it, it would tell you to register again.
Yeah, it made me register again.
But then it didn't give you a link.
No.
Yeah. I don't know how that was set up. But no, maybe a firm grasp of Zoom, which I thought I had, should be the #1 bullet point for a new board, or a new executive director.
So when's your last day?
So I mean, I'll finish up everything for the year. So technically, I'll start working on the new group on January 1, but picking up checks, writing, filling out reports, board updates, all that stuff. I'll make sure it finishes, and I'm hoping that if the mail isn't as bad as it's been in the past, I can wrap up everything like January 10th ish. You know, I mean, there's been years that it's bled into the 20s because of really bad mail delays. It doesn't seem like we have it this year. Right. I don't know why. Maybe it says new mail trucks that came out, so maybe they're more efficient now. But I haven't had anybody miss a check that sent it on time like we have had in the past. Good. Well, I guess was it? Maybe we'll get started and we'll record it and send it back out to everybody. Just to be mindful of everyone's time. Yeah, well, I'm not getting emails that people are trying to do that, so I think they've seen the new. Hold on.
I might try just sending a separate, resending what you sent, but make it a new email. They may not be picking it up in the.
Okay, hold on.
In the email from yesterday.
Yeah. This is the worst. Why didn't we all this technology? We could have all just hung out and gotten breakfast and done this. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the marketing people are like, well, we sent this. You know, I was like, look, if it just I couldn't figure it out, I would be fine. But it feels like other people are having trouble figuring it out. So okay. So, all right, I'm just gonna. I think we can just record it, and hopefully people will see the link in their email when they can't figure out what's going on. So anyway, thanks for everyone who joined us this morning. We had some technical difficulties to start, and we're grateful to Micheal Wagner and the Welch Group for hosting us so we can be set up and let everybody know about this exciting opportunity. So if you got this link, you obviously have some care about school choice opportunities in Alabama. And so I'll give a brief background on what we as an organization do, how we were started, and give some information on those lines. And then we'll kind of talk about this benefit for business owners that is something really unique and something that we really hope everybody takes advantage of. So Scholarships for Kids was started in 2013 when the Alabama Accountability Act was passed. That was the first piece of school choice legislation that the state has had. We've since extended choice through charter schools and with the Choose Act that was passed last year. But the Alabama Accountability Act was first, and it's a great piece of legislation allowing students from lower income households to have school choice opportunities they otherwise couldn't afford. And so from 2013 until about 2017, people would donate as an individual, and it was a net neutral opportunity for you. In lieu of you paying the taxes that you owed to Montgomery, you would send them to our organization or organizations like us, and we would then invest those in students so they could go to private schools or other schools of their choice across the state. And then 2017, with the tax law changes, there was a brief window where individuals actually made money on this program, and they did that by and they were making money because there's kind of a not really a glitch, but an opportunity that if you were subject to alternative minimum tax, you would make money as an individual by essentially exchanging a credit for a deduction. And so that loophole was closed, and we got back to a point in late 2019, early 2020, where this is still a neutral proposition for everybody. Again, we would love for everyone to give just because it's neutral, and you're certainly not hurting yourself by giving it to us. But then in 2020, Secretary Mnuchin, who was President Trump's Treasury Secretary, wrote a Treasury reg. And that was really a game changer for us, because through that Treasury reg, which I emailed everybody earlier today, or a memo about it, it says that we're going to let businesses that are paying, pass-through entities that are paying their income taxes to Alabama, we're going to let them, when they give that to the state, it's still going to be neutral as it flows through the carrier ones. It's still going to be a neutral action, and they aren't affected, no positive or negative financial benefit. But, and this is where it was a huge benefit to us, we're going to treat that as a ordinary necessary business expense on the federal side. And so his Treasury reg essentially is saying that if a pass-through entity wants to show the community that they're investing in children, investing in education, they can do that by giving to a group like Scholarships for Kids. We're going to treat that as marketing. So just the same as a small business owner expends money in marketing, that payment to us, to a scholarship granting organization, we're going to deduct. We're going to let you deduct on the federal side. And so it's really an extraordinary concept if you think about it. There's no other way that you get to pay taxes to your state and get to deduct on the federal side. And so it's a really unique opportunity. And what we found is most people just aren't aware of it. And so that's what we're hoping to do with this webinar, to let people know about the program, how it works, how we are able to support students through it, and how business owners make money. And so again, it's really unique. And a lot of times people say, this is too good to be true. There's no way that this that you should be able to do this. A lot of times some CPAs are hesitant about it just because it's a Treasury reg. It's not necessarily a statute, but we have a lot of CPAs that have let people take a lot of deductions that are based on even less. And so this one at least has some teeth with being a Treasury reg. But, and I'm grateful that you don't have to take my word for it. Thankfully, our host here, our emergency host, Micheal Wagner with the Welch Group, has a lot of familiarity with it. As a CPA, knows this well. And so, Micheal, if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes, just kind of explaining how this works, how you've done it as both an advisor and as a business owner through the Welch Group as well.
Yes, Stephen, thanks. We have, as a firm, we are a partnership. We have 9 total partners. So the way it works in our partnership is we kind of go around. Each tax partner has different tax kind of situations. And what we've done is kind of figure out, all right, who's our limiting partner? Who's kind of has the smallest tax liability of the partners? And from there, we decide as a partnership group, here's how much we're going to give from the firm to Scholarship for Kids. So we actually go online through our corporate My Alabama tax code, and claim that credit. We send a check to Scholarship for Kids directly from the company. And then once Stephen gets the check, he sends us a letter back that basically just says, hey, you did get the credit. We received your check. All is good. We upload that letter to the My Alabama Tax account after everything's been done. And then we allocate it based on each of the partners' ownership percentages in the firm. So I would get my percentage, the other partners would get their percentage of the tax credits. That actually now, it actually shows up. So we did this about a month ago. When I go online now to My Alabama Taxes, my personal one, I can actually see here's what we did from the company, and here's actually what's been applied to me. On top of that, if I have some additional tax liability, I can go on individually and give that as well. But really what the biggest part of this is, we all have state income tax to pay. So instead of directing dollars to Montgomery, we can direct those to help kids get a better education, which to me is a huge win-win. But if you're doing it through a pass-through entity, so think about a partnership, S corporations, things like that, you get the double benefit. And really, you get to take that deduction of whatever you would normally pay for state income tax and take a deduction at the federal level. So that's really comes down to each of the partners, the owner's tax return. And if they're in that top tax bracket, they get that percentage of there. So it's really just free money out there. We've talked to a lot of CPAs. We've really had very little to almost no pushback from the state for any of the companies that have done this. We've actually, I think Stephen sent out letters from Bradley Arant and then Jackson as well from here's our letters that have been sent out and kind of their taking a stake in a position of, all right, here's why we think that this works from there. And we've really, I think Stephen kind of hit the nail on the head. It works. The biggest thing is how do we get more people to know about it?
Yeah. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, I mean, it's something that one of the things we saw from an organizational standpoint is we had a lot of people convert over to give through their pass-through entities. We had people that had been individual supporters of Scholarships for Kids for years. And then once 2020 came around, they realized, wait, there's some opportunities here to really benefit financially, which is awesome. I mean, from a state perspective, we're actually kind of creating revenue that from our pass-through entity owners by profiting from this, and those are monies that then they can invest in their businesses here. And so we started seeing a few businesses kind of switch over from individuals in 19 to giving corporately through the pass-through in 20. We've seen a lot more since then in 21 and 22 especially. And so for us, it's just getting the word out there and making people aware of it. And so does anybody have any specific questions about any of the technical issues around this? Well, I mean, if not, this has been a pretty succinct meeting. I mean, we'll get this recorded and sent out to everybody. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. We're very grateful for Michael, and not just Michael for hosting this today. Michael has been a great advocate. Michael and everyone at the Welch Group have been a phenomenal advocate for what we do here at Scholarships for Kids. They've been able to have a lot of their clients come and support us too, and we're very grateful for that. But this is our busy time of the year fundraising. So if anyone thinks, am I too late? You absolutely are not late. There are over $28 million available through the state in available credits that can be claimed. It's amazing how rapidly they go down at the end of the year. It's quite a stressful time for those of us that this is what we do for a living. We're grateful to be able to sell a really unique opportunity to people. And so for the longest time, it was just convincing someone to take a few minutes out of their day to do something that doesn't really affect them financially, but makes a really systemic impact in the lives of students. But now we have, for the last few years, and we've really been able to get more and more people aware of it, is we have a tool that is the true win-win-win. Students win because you're giving them school choice opportunities, and the individual wins because they're making money on this from a corporate standpoint as well. And the third win is I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit less stressed because we have more money to support these kids. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, we'll call it a day and we'll get this out to everyone. And I'm available until 11:59 p.m. on December 31st to help anybody with questions. So thank you all for taking your time today, and I appreciate everyone's efforts and desire to help out these students.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right.